Hi, my name is John Smith. I was born in 1580 in Lincolnshire, England. My parents are George and Alice Smith. I went to school at King Edward VI Grammar School. When I was 15, my father let me leave school and become a merchant's apprentice. When I was 16, I went off on my first adventure. I became a soldier in the Netherlands. I served there for 4 years. After that, I decided to leave England to see more of the world. During my first trip, I joined the Austrian army to fight the Turks. After a long adventure, I returned to England. In 1605, the Virginia Company, a joint stock company, was formed by a group of knights and merchants. Joint stock companies were very popular at the time because the government and stockholders did not have to invest a lot of money in hopes of making money in America. They could share costs. I was excited to be part of this venture. The other passengers and I set sail for Virginia in December 1606. There were 3 ships to get us there. There were the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and the Discovery. On April 26, 1607, the 3 ships arrived in what is now called the Chesapeake Bay on the Virginia coast. When we arrived, we didn't know what to expect in this new land, so we started a search party and started exploring. We traveled up a river and ran into the Powhatan tribe. Our first meeting with the Powhatan tribe was friendly, but we spoke different languages, so communication was difficult. We had to build our fort, and we called it Jamestown in honor of our king. The winter of the first year, I led an expedition up the Chickahominy River, hoping to find supplies, but instead the Pamukees attacked me. This was a tribe led by the Powhatan's brother. I was captured. I tried communicating, but it didn't work. I was almost killed, but a little girl helped me out. It was one of the Powhatan's daughters, whose name was Pocahontas. When I returned to Jamestown, there was a large fire that did a lot of damage. It was cold and hard for us to rebuild. During tough times, the Powhatan tribe helped us, and soon we became friendlier with each other. From the earliest days of travel, I was always a leader rather than a follower, but the colonists were not happy with how I led Jamestown. In fact, one of my men tried to kill me, so I left Virginia in September 1609 to return to England. During the first few years I was back in England, I wrote a book called The Map of Virginia. I died in June of 1631 in London. Some of my quotes are, "Win or lose, you will never regret working hard, making sacrifices, being disciplined, or focusing too much. He who does not work will not eat."